Hi, this is Robert Kiyosaki, and you're listening to Capital Hacking. This is the most important thing you can listen to today.
Hello, this is Josh McCown from Renault Winery Resort, and we have a very important announcement from Matt Sorensen about Learn and Grow, August 24th. Take it away, Matt.
I'm Matt Sorensen from Directed IRA. I'm excited to be the keynote speaker at the Learn and Grow event for Accountable Equity on August 23rd and 24th. Got to book your tickets and get registered. I'm excited to be there and to meet you in person.
Here's the one. I have a dream. With great power comes great responsibility. I can do this all day.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
They may take our life, but they'll never take our freedom. Cinderella story out of nowhere. It's in the hole. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Capital Hacking begins in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the big show. Josh McCown here and the world famous John Edwin. Thanks for being here.
Josh, we had Terry Rossi today, and Terry tore it up. It's amazing. He's not just an investor with Accountable Equity. He's become a good friend, and he's also on the advisory board now for Accountable Equity. And he has been a true gem for us with fresh information and creative ideas. But in this episode, you're going to learn a lot about how to make an exit in business, how to have your business evaluated, and why you shouldn't try and do it on your own.
Oh, yeah, that surprised me, actually. I think he's right. He's dead right, but I wasn't thinking that way. So how about the fact that how did he get to where he is today? Sure, he's a heck of a business owner, had 2 exits, actually. That's all very impressive. But he got there with a very clear path that you could follow, too, when you're listening today. He chose a business operating system. He talks about EOS. He talks about scaling up. So he chose that a generation ago, way before I may have even known about those kinds of programs. So what a great, wise choice he made there. Then he turned that into coaching. He just learned that coaching and mentorship was worth his energy and time, and it created a trajectory of growth. Really great. And then he talks about how to actually sell a company, and he lays it out perfectly. This is a winner show, a big-time winner show, no matter where you're at in your journey. I think you're going to love this one.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah, baby. Terry Rossi. So excited to have him on the big show. Big fan of this guy, John. Thanks for helping me get this put together.
Man, we are excited. Terry's been a friend of ours. He invests with us at Accountable Equity. He's now on the advisory board for Accountable Equity. And, we greatly appreciate everything that you've been doing for, the Accountable Equity side, and also are excited to hear all about your business ventures, Terry. So without further ado, can you just give us a little bit about your background, who you are, and what you're up to?
Yeah, sure. Hi, guys. Great to be here. My name's Terry Rossi. I'm a local South Jersey native. Grew up around Renault Winery and LBI National, so the properties are very near and dear to my heart. And I spent the last 27 years building an IT services business. So that's what I've been doing in my adult life. I sold it in 2022 to private equity, and I've been now working with other companies and trying to help them sell their businesses. The MSP, or the managed services business, is very hot, and there's a lot of roll up going on and a lot of equity going around. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Got involved with Accountable Equity and Josh and you guys, I guess in the end of 2022, when I was selling my business. I was looking for a tax shelter, a way to make my money work for me. So happy to be part of the team.
Well, and you know what? Let's pause on all that fun stuff, though. We love all that. And I think you're killer. I actually think we need to learn some incredible nuggets from you. And not many people, we've had almost 350 shows, but not many have sold to private equity. The ones that have, we always ask them, can you tell us how that works? For example, let's go back to the business first, though. PIX. It's been around for 27 years. That's a heck of a legacy. I imagine you were solicited for an exit many times. People came to you over those years, right?
Literally hundreds of times we got solicitations for people to buy us. We chose not to go that route, though, because, I wanted to have a plan for the exit. I wanted to make sure it was done on our terms so I could take care of our customers, take care of our employees. So that journey started roughly 2.5 years before we actually sold. I started educating myself on the process, the M&A process. I got some mentors, a gentleman by the name of John Ratliff, who, if you've ever read the book Scaling Up by Vern Harnish, he was the owner of Apple Tree answering service, and he did about 25 acquisitions as part of that, and then sold it at a huge multiple. So he was my mentor going into it, and he had this concept about Rembrandts in the attic. I don't know if you've ever heard that before.
I love this. Teach us, brother. Teach us. This is
yeah. Basically, you can have a financial buyer. He's going to pay you a certain multiple based on your revenue, or you can have a strategic buyer that finds a Rembrandt in your attic. So they're looking for something in your business that you're not capitalizing on, that they can then take your EBITDA to a whole nother level without necessarily paying for it. So you, as a seller, you want to make sure you find those and you bring them out to the buyer so that they see that opportunity. So that was kind of my start on it. I went to a CEO exit retreat down in Marathon, Florida, and spent a weekend with John and started working with him. And then my next step was kind of get an investment banker. And I really think if you're going to sell your business, you need to do that. Trying to do it alone, one-on-one, you get one opportunity with one buyer. And you have to be the bad guy sometimes. You don't want to go into that relationship that way. If you have an investment banker, you can shield yourself from all that. And the guys you're selling to, especially if it's a private equity, they're doing this all day long. You're doing it maybe once or twice in your lifetime. They have a huge upper hand on you.
Whoa. Put that in a meme or something. That is so. It seems self-evident, but I'm glad you said it because I don't think I thought about it that way. Deal flow creates expertise. You own a business. You know how to deal flow within your business. You don't know how to deal flow your business.
100%.
And they do. And so you're always at a disadvantage. So you're saying somebody called an investment banker is the solution that can help you level the playing field. You got to explain that to me because you know what? I grew up thinking Wall Street was the only way to invest. Then I got to work in real estate for 20 something years in different ways. And then I said, oh, wait, real estate plus businesses on real estate are my favorite path. And then I don't even talk about Wall Street, but over the years, I've heard about investment banks. Now, I've always thought these were like Goldman Sachs and the big boys up there that can put big deals together. What do you mean? And how do you find what you mean?
Yeah. So investment bankers are a step ahead of what you would call a business broker, right? Their job, and my team at my investment banker, I used a company called STS Capital. They're an international firm. Very respected. Part of their success fee or their commission, if you will, they give to charity, philanthropy. So they have a lot of philanthropy ties. Very good team. I had, MBAs working on the team, as well as somebody who was actually in my industry, formerly an operator, right? So the big advantage to us is, you pay a success fee or a commission to sell your business, but we had over 40 different management interviews with companies that were interested in buying us. We got just under 10. We got 9 offers, pending offers with LOIs, and we were able to get top dollar for our business. You can't do that when you're trying to do it yourself. The other big advantage of working with a investment banker like that is one of the keys to selling your business and getting top dollar is your trailing 12 months of revenue, right? If you're trying to sell your business, you're taking your eye off the ball of working your business, of producing revenue for your business, right? You got to keep your foot on the gas because they look for that. Those private equity guys, they want you to trail off at the end so they can adjust their number and get you for a better price.
Dude, stop. Now, listen, sometime this podcast talks a lot. We've talked to people that know how to flip houses to people that know how to flip businesses. And the listeners might get whiplash, right, John? This is fancy stuff we're talking about here. Just to boil it down one more basic step for me, trailing 12, you're talking about the last 12 months of profitability, P&L statements. That is always trailing. It's always rolling. So you're saying if in January of a certain year, you got a deal penciled, and then the due diligence starts, meaning you accepted their term sheet, let's say, and then they start due diligence, and 3 months go by, 4 months go by, 5 months go by. Now they get to pull back and say, wait, we want the new trailing 12. So here you are, you agreed to something at the peak of your value, your foot was on the gas, and now 5 months, your foot's less on the gas, let's say, and they get to reduce the price. So you're saying that's almost baked into one of their strategies. I love that. See how sophisticated they are?
100%. And, you know, it doesn't have to be you taking your foot off the gas. For us, we sold in August of 22. Guess what happened in 22? We had COVID, right? So luckily we were an essential service in New Jersey. So we were actually just thriving, but other businesses were dying. They could get them for pennies on the dollar.
Right.
Wow.
Lots of wisdom, you kind of unpacked a lot of things there, but John, I want to let you jump in because I'm hogging the guy.
That's all right. That's all right. You're asking great questions, Josh. You know, when I was at a mastermind years ago, actually it was the first one I did with GoBundance. Christopher Lockhead was one of the main speakers, and he made a comment, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't want to drop an F-bomb in front of our listeners, but he said, you know, when you get to the top of the mountain, throw down the effing rope. And then he repeated that. And it's very interesting to me that now that you've had your exit, Terry, you're helping other businesses also have an exit. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. And, you know, again, in our industry, a lot of the guys are, you know, technicians. I think it was the E-Myth, right? You know, a technician with an entrepreneurial, you know, fart or whatever he said. There's a ton of them in our business. You know, guys are really good techs. They're not really good financial people. I always say, for me, math is not an exact science, right? I need people to help me. And that's one of the things I learned long ago in my business. Get an outside board of advisors, get an outside group of tenant coaches, mentors, and then go seek out the best advice you can get from the people that do it every day. So one of my goals when I sold was I had actually two goals. One was to help people that wanted to sell and get top value for their business and have something they could be proud of and get some legacy wealth. That was the first thing. And the second thing was that during the last 3 or 4 years of my business, I started to see that Main Street businesses in South Jersey or wherever I were, they were not taking advantage of all of the things going on in the digital world, right? In the internet with technology and AI. And I thought to myself, I really like digital marketing. I want to start getting involved in that. And I want to help Main Street businesses become competitive with the Amazons of the world and the Tractor Supplies of the world, the people that are really using technology to foster their businesses. Because I kept seeing storefront after storefront after storefront going out of business. Good, reputable, solid citizens that just didn't know what to do. This stuff is not super easy. And I wanted to help them with that. So that were kind of my two goals when I exited the business.
Is that, you know, you and I have been talking about one of your goals right now is to begin a mastermind program because you've gotten so much value out of them in your life. Is that what you wanted? Was part of this digital revolution for, you know, regional businesses? Is that one of the reasons you wanted to get into that?
Yeah, for sure. And again, I took the same methodology with that 3 or 4 years prior to selling the business. I started learning from the masters. I worked with Frank Kern, with Russell Brunson, with Perry Belcher, all of the big digital marketing guys. And I went to every event that I could. I probably invested $500,000 in training and education and started really honing those skills because I thought that would be the next stage in my life.
So tell me, forgive me. So let's assume you mastered the skills. Obviously, you need to execute on the skills. Who did you use? Did you do it in-house or did you find outside groups to execute on your strategies?
Definitely both. I was able to oversee it, if you will, but there are people that, again, same thing with the investment bankers and the private equity guys. They do this every day. So I wasn't trying to be a copywriter. I wasn't trying to be a funnel creator. I wanted to be able to understand that and guide businesses through that process, but use outside talent to do that. And I still do that today. I have a digital marketing company where we have a team of outsourced people that we share amongst the mastermind of other digital marketing companies. We share the same 25 resources so that, I don't have to keep them on payroll. I don't have to keep up with the latest trends and techniques to achieve success.
And Terry, did you have partners in Pix and what did that look like? And what was their role? What was your role? How did you guys work together so successfully?
Great question.
Yeah, it is a great question. And I was very lucky. I had a partner for 27 years. We started at the only job I ever had in my life, which I held for 3 years. he was kind of an application guy. I was a technical guy, and they were going public, and the powers to be told them they should be a software company, not a services company. So we split off and started the services company. The beauty of our partnership was that we had two divisions within the company, and my partner ran one and I ran the other. So it was really autonomous, and it led to a great partnership that we were able to capitalize on throughout the years.
Right, because to summarize for the folks, one of yours was IT managed services, where you basically, I'll let you describe a contract. What would not necessarily numbers maybe, but how a contract like that works, if you could describe it. And then the other one was software and software implementation, I think, right? So that's different than managed services. And you're saying you each ran the same brand name doing two different tracks. Did you cross-sell a lot? Did you tend to have the same clients or no?
Also a great question. That was our original intent. We were going to be able to cross-sell to each division. It really didn't work out because one of our divisions was enterprise Fortune 1000 type companies. We work with companies like Johnson & Johnson, Ford, Lear, big worldwide Unilever companies, right, all over the world. The other side of the business was small to medium-sized businesses in the local regional area. So that was the thought. We abandoned that shortly into the two divisions because it really didn't work. So we knew when we were going to exit, we were going to have to find two different buyers. It wasn't going to be the same buyer. So we shed one business in 2021, one division. We shed the other in 2022.
Okay. Now, if you could describe a little more about what is a good managed service contract look like, and companies. Describe the time in a company's growth when they should be doing the managed services.
Sure.
Because we have people that listen, and they're solo entrepreneurs that are making a lot of money, and then they start to hire one or two people. At what point should they join with a group called a managed services group, and what does that contract typically look like?
Yeah, so I mean, a managed service provider is really good for a company 15 to 150 employees, I would say at the most, maybe. And essentially what we provide, or what managed service providers provide, is everything from the help desk, IT help desk, all the way up to strategic planning and capacity planning, budget planning, et cetera. And a really good one will incorporate all those things and act as a mentor for your business when it comes to all things technology. The problem is it's not always apples to apples. You have many different kinds of providers out there. Some will do the bare minimum. They'll provide you tool sets and cabling, those kind of basically level one stuff, and that's fine if that's all you need. But if you really want someone to help you grow your business with technology, you need a full staff on the MSP. So those guys, the MSPs that are really good at providing that strategic planning, they have to invest in their company, and they have to be able to understand how to scale those resources and leverage them, because every one of their clients wants a piece of those guys, right? So it's there's a lot of different kind of companies out there, and you really have to be careful when selecting one.
Sorry, John, I have one more follow up on this.
You fire away, brother. I love it.
So when we got into building our business, of course, you start super scrappy. Every dollar is accounted for perfectly. We don't have extra money to waste on anything that's not revenue generating. So that's how, I get going. And then I start having this assumption. I remember they used to call it the .com, right? That was 25 years ago. Then they started calling it Web 2.0 at some point, right, where things changed to, I'll call it modular apps. That's how basic people think about it. And I don't know where we're at now. Do they even call it 2.0, 3.0? I don't know what they call it. But my assumption, and this is how stupid I must have been, was that within each app, it's different. Okay, so when I was in the 90s, I worked for big companies, or bigger companies that had like the old-fashioned, like the IT department was big because we had some kind of servers on property,
right,
and everybody had to go through this multi-step process to do everything. Then Web 2.0 came along, where you and I could buy a fantastic piece of software this afternoon, download it on our phone and computer, and it might actually do some real value. Like ClickFunnels is a good example. That's a pretty self-contained piece of software. So I am still, as a growing business, confused about the blurred line. Like managed services to me sounds like the olden days, because I think of everything as like autonomous little pieces of software now. And so now I'm kind of evolving to think that managed services can start helping us structure the whole strategy to eliminate certain modular softwares. How dumb am I, or how normal is my thought process over the last 25 years? Is that where a lot of businesses are? They're stuck in not knowing what to do.
Hi, this is Melanie McCallan. Josh and I are just so grateful for the many investors who have already joined us at Accountable Equity. Accountable Equity is so much more than a capital group. It's really a community of accredited investors that want to learn and grow together. I just want to personally invite you, if you want to find out more about this type of investment and see if it's right for you and your family, please visit us at accountableequity.com. You can fill out the contact form. We'll get right back to you and see if this is a great fit for you and your family. We'd love to meet you. We look forward to learning about you. Please visit us at accountableequity.com.
Hey, it's Hal Elrod, author of The Miracle Morning, and you're listening to Capital Hacking. Enjoy.
Yeah, I think with the move to the cloud, right? And that's probably a 10-year-old phrase now. With the move to the cloud, a lot of companies think, well, I don't need a managed service provider anymore. I don't have a server in the back room. I don't have cabling, whatever. But you really do have the same set of problems. They're just not located in your facility. I think I read yesterday that the average enterprise company has 450 software as a service applications that they use. Small business in the 200s range, right? So the big challenge now is putting all that together in a coherent pattern, coherent tool set that you can use to run your business, and being able to share the data from one of those platforms to another to look at a dashboard, to look at, financial reports, to look at, whatever. The other thing that's really critical and was one of the drivers that moved me to sell my business, to be perfectly honest, is the liabilities today. The cybersecurity liabilities today are through the roof. I don't know if you guys know that, we're in July of 2024 when we're recording this, but there was recently a ransomware attack on the dealership software that all car dealers used. They were down for 6 weeks. They're still down as far as I know. It's crazy. Yet they're writing contracts by hand.
Oh,
No way.
I did not know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's some real liability in there. And me as a managed service provider, I decided that approaching, 60 years old, I don't really want that in my life anymore. I don't want to take down 15 local businesses because somebody on my team maybe didn't do what they were supposed to do. Greatest guys in the world on my team, but they got to do what they're supposed to do.
Even if your guys were perfect at any one level, isn't ransomware? Can't that be my point is, even if you do your job perfectly, can't there still be somebody who outsmarts us?
100%.
It doesn't have to be negligence to have this happen.
No, not at all. They call it 0-day threats. I mean, there's 0-day threats that come out every day. So there's a new threat that comes out every day that no one saw yesterday. So yeah, for sure.
It's amazing. So I want to pivot a little bit, Terry. How many kids do you have?
I have 2 daughters, 10 years apart. So it's like having two only children. But they're great. They're 2 girls. One is married with 2 beautiful sons, and one is just recently married.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm just always curious. Did you try and get them into the business? Are they entrepreneurs? Like, did they help you with your business? Because that's something my wife and I have always been pushing our kids to do, but not everybody's that way.
Yep, 100%. I'm the Jim Croce song, right? I spent the first 25 years of my kid's life working in my business, not being the best dad that I could be, if I'm being perfectly honest. I wasn't a bad dad. I was just engrossed in the business. But my youngest daughter has some entrepreneurial skills. She does some social media and marketing for companies. Both of my daughters are teachers, so they're really ingrained in that world and they love it. My son-in-law is also a teacher, so there's a lot of teachers in the family.
I love it. And as we come to Josh, do you have more questions?
Well, no, I do want to ask a couple because Terry, your journey, here's what we can all take from it. One, you're telling us about these investment banks. I do want to dig in on that one more second. 2, you dropped a little shocking tidbit in there that you spent 3 years and a lot of money on getting mentors and getting your head changed. You intentionally chose to change your thinking process. There must have been a catalyst moment where you said, I don't see the whole picture. I want to see the whole picture. Like, how did that journey to become so voracious about joining communities or mentorships, or why did you do that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know that that started 3 years ago. I think that started 27 years ago. I've always been involved in peer groups and masterminds, and I've always had outside coaches. We've always had a business coach. I think a lot of the value we got for our company was because we had a business operating system. I know you guys use Traction. It's a great, BOS. We used Scaling Up, very similar. Companies want to buy companies that pay attention to their business. They don't want to buy fly-by-nighters. And if they do, they want to give you pennies for the dollar. So I've always been a learner. If you look behind me, I got a lot of books. They're all, self-learning kind of books. They're books that take me on my journey. Same thing when I got involved with you guys at Accountable Equity, right? I didn't know anything about syndication. I didn't know anything about qualified opportunity zones or real estate deals, or I did know a little bit about hospitality and entertainment, but other than that, I was a newbie and I wanted to learn. I spent a lot of time learning. I met with you, Josh. I remember the day we met. You told me about Renault and what was going on, and I was a fan. You were a businessman. I like businessmen.
Well, I mean, you are a voracious learner, and you're just, honestly, we're very grateful to have you as a friend and learning from you. I'd like to learn a lot more from you now that I know how much time you put into mastering marketing. I'd like to quickly get you a cup of coffee. Let's sit down real quick. I need some more help there, as always. And the CEO exit retreat. What was the name of that mentor in your life again? John Ratliff?
So John owns the Gazelles Coaching Group, which is the Vern Harnish's coaching organization. He also owns a company called Align 5, which is, I guess, his coaching group. John's a great guy, Westchester native, very, very successful. Great keynote speaker, by the way, guys, if you want somebody to come speak. Really, really good.
Maybe Christmas. Well, we'll have to figure out a time. But yes, Terry, see, you're always thinking. You're like us. You're like, wait, I could connect this with that. It'll work well. It'll help both groups. I love that about you, Terry. So masterminds were a big part. Any other name drops you can name? You did the Vern Harnish Scaling Up, which is I might wonder if that's better than EOS because it's a little more complicated than EOS. But then again, it's hard enough just to do EOS. So, but you did that for how many years?
Many. We had a coach. We had a facilitator, just like you guys do, that came in once a month. We helped facilitate our monthly meetings, but we had daily huddles and weekly huddles, and it really helped us to grow the business. When we sold, again, 21% year over year EBITDA, growth every year, all the right things that a buyer wants, and that was a lot to do with paying attention to the numbers.
Wow, God bless you. And then
just one more thing on the name dropping. The Scaling Up book, there were three main components in there. It's cash, communications, financial planning, etc. But there were three people that were mentioned in there. Vern Harnish being the first one, John Ratliff being the second one, and Greg Crabtree, which was he wrote the accounting parts of that book. Greg Crabtree was my accounting partner when I sold. John Ratliff was my STS advisor, my investment banker advisor, and then Vern Harnish was involved the whole way as well.
Was he really? So you know Vern?
Yeah.
You know Vern?
Yeah,
Harnish?
I do. Yeah. I met Vern when he was talking on very small stages, probably in the 90s.
No, he's legit. I've never met him. I actually don't know what he looks like, but I have his book right on my shelf over there, and I've read through about half of it because it is thick. Yeah. It is no polite read, man. That's like, it's an MBA over there.
Yeah, I mean, your readers can start with Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. That's a really good kickstart for a business operating system, and then move on to Scaling Up. That's the way they want to go.
So you said something, again, really curious, going back to the private equity and exits. STS Capital, is that somehow connected to Vern Harnish as well?
I don't think so. I don't think it is at all. But STS Capital is a great company. I'd be happy to introduce any of your readers into the team that I worked with.
Yeah.
And they have, like I said, they have operators all around the world that are really specialized in different industries.
Yeah, I think you do a great job of showing the value of the different partners you found. So thank you for all you're doing, and I can't wait to follow up with you soon.
Terry, thank you, man.
How can we reach out to you? Forgive us. Are you taking
connect, brother?
Yeah. Are you taking open to being contacted?
Yeah, I'm happy to be contacted. Help anybody, connect them with STS or help them on their exit, help them with their marketing, whatever they need. You can reach me on most of the socials as just Terry Rossi. That's Terry with a Y, Rossi with an I. And my email is Terry, TERRY @TRSC.com. Thanks a lot, guys. It's been great.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Cheers, brother.
Pleasure.
Damn straight. We just got
buddy.
We got to the end of another great show. And everyone listening right now, you're the family and friends. Thanks for staying till the end.
That was so fun. And hey, hit the like, hit subscribe. We're here to serve you guys. That's why we're doing this show. Josh is not paying me. I'm doing this off of my quote unquote sweat equity because we want to make a difference in your life. And then that ripple effect will continue to touch the world.
Hey, amen, brother. Please check us out on capitalhacking.com, all the social media threads. And yes, I know you've probably already sent this episode to one of your best friends. Thank you. We love you. Just go right into your iPhone, hit the plus symbol. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.
Share.